Welcome back to Candy's Art World. I'm Candy, and today we are going to take a look at something I got off of Amazon. Actually, I need to go ahead and pull that up so that way I know what it's called because I cannot speak. I think it's Japanese. So let's see. Okay. It's Kuretake Gansai Tambi. That's what this watercolor set is called. I'm sure I butchered that. But it has 36 colors in it. Let's open it up and take a look. And I also got some Archie's hot pressed watercolor paper too. I'm really excited about that. Have yet to ever try Archie's watercolor paper. There we go. I really like this color on the box. It's a really cool green. Ooh, that's a lot of paint. Very awesome. And this is really cool. It gives you a spot to where you can swatch your paint on the back of the box. I think I will do that. That way, because I can't read all of that. I mean, I guess I can. It does have the regular writing on the box. It doesn't on these little parts, but it does on here. It has the English words. I forgot to get a cup of water. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I also got this set of brushes off of Amazon. I'll link all the stuff in the description. If you use my links, they are affiliate links. I will get a little bit of something back to help with the channel. It won't cost you any extra. It's just a nice way to hopefully help me make a little money on the thing. If you're going to buy something anyways, might as well. Let's see. Let's use like this one. It's not too big, not too little. These definitely have some kind of an odor to it. Ooh-wee. Probably the paint. Yep, the paint on the handle is a little bit stinky. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get a paper towel too, so that way I can clean my brush between colors. Now they put this in a kind of strange order. It might make sense though. Let's try it out. And this one is red. I know that's kind of obvious, but there's different kinds of reds. This one's just called red. Clean that out. And the next one is called Carmine. And that red is a bluer red, I guess you would call it, because it's a little almost purpley. I'm gonna go like this and see how much that covers on that writing to see if it's transparent. Okay, next color is called Rose Madder. That sounds like a pretty color. I like roses. Let's see if it's a, well, that looks very much like the Carmine, but maybe a little bit pink, more pink. So I wipe most of the pigment back out of the brush, then I'll dip it in water, and then I'll wipe the rest out of the brush on my paper towel. I'm not sure if I like using long handled brushes for watercolor. I've never really used long handled brushes for anything, but it's kind of neat. Oh, this one's called Rose Madder Deep. So let's see. Ooh, I like that. Oh, my water's making a shadow. Oops, I forgot to do the over the writing. And then we've got cadmium red is the first one on the second row. Yeah, this red and that red are a lot closer. In color. The next one is called Scarlet. Oh, Cadmium Scarlet. Orange. I like it. Oops, I forgot to. Okay, and then we got cadmium orange is next. Next is yellow ochre. And then cadmium yellow. Next is Orelon. Let's see if that'll focus. Maybe not. Nah. It's Arielon. That's what I'm gonna go with for now. Oops, I forgot to do the... There we go. And then next is lemon yellow. Get that with my brush. That's pretty bright. Up next is olive green. Sap green light. What I'm liking about this paint is all I have to do is wet my brush and then hit the paint pan. I don't have to spray it first. On my other watercolors, I spray the pans. Sap green is next. That is definitely darker than the other green. And then we've got hooker's green. Next is sap green deep. So 3 different types of sap green. And the next one is Viridian. Then we've got forest green. That does not look like green in the pan. It's definitely green. Okay, now we have turquoise green deep. Also doesn't look green in the pan. Oh, that's pretty. The next one is called Malachati. And my son's practicing his guitar in the next room, so you might hear that in the background. That is a really cool color. Now we have Ultramarine Pale. That looks like a periwinkle, at least in the pan. Yep. I like it. Very pretty. And then next is Ultramarine. And then we have Cerulean Blue. Next is Turquoise Blue. And then we have Prussian Blue. Or Prussian Blue. However you want to say that. That's really pretty. Next is Indigo. Yeah, I like Indigo. It's very similar in color, but this is darker, like deeper, I guess you'd say. And then we have Imperial Violet here. Whoa, that is not messing around purple. Ooh-wee. Very pigmented. Okay, we've got Cobalt Violet. Oh, that's cool. Should try that with some of this. Picked it back up a little bit. See how light you can get it. That's really cool. There's a big difference between the two, so you can use the same color in different ways. That's a good thing. Next it says purple. That does not look purple to me. Let's see. That looks red, but who knows? Let's see. Yeah, that looks more like fuchsia. But it's pretty. Just picking back up some of the color just so I see what it looks like dry. We have next is burnt sienna. And then next is raw umber deep. And then we have black. That is pretty black. Yep, black. Let's see if I can lighten it up, at least on the numbers, so if I have to order some, I know the number. Alright, and the next one is white. I don't know if swatching it makes a whole lot of sense since the paper's white, but we shall see. That is pretty white for watercolor. It's usually not very opaque, but that seems pretty opaque, but not too opaque. And then we've got white gold. That's a really cool color. I might need a little more water to get it started. Hopefully it works, because that's really cool. Oh, I see the shine. Just a nice shimmer. Put a little bit over the black. Oop. That's going to be fun to play with. And then the next one is a bluish gold. I think these metallics might need a little bit more water to get started, which is not a big deal. I'm not used to watercolor paints being so easy to start. Bluish gold. That is cool. That one showed more shimmer to me than that one, but let's see what they look like when they dry. And then we've got, this one's just called gold. Looks a little to me more like copper, but we shall see what it looks like. Ooh, that's pretty. That is really cool. Okay, so here are the colors swatched that you get in this set of watercolors. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to open this Arches paper. I'm going to figure out what I want to paint with these new paints on this new paper, and I will be back in a little bit. Okay, so I decided to do something a little springy because it's really cold and I'd rather it be spring. So I drew out a little birdie on a branch with some little blossoms and leaves and stuff, and I'm gonna do like a real blurred out background, I think, with the watercolor. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Sorry I did that part off camera. I thought I pushed record, but I didn't. But I drew it in, and then I used masking fluid to protect the bird and the branches and the leaves and the blossoms and stuff. Now I'm gonna try wet on wet technique at first. I think with the watercolors, it's pretty much gonna be playing around just to see what I get out of it. Okay, so I did a light wash of the sap green lights, the malachi or whatever that color is, and the rose madder, mostly water, a little bit of the colors. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll come back and see if we need another layer on the background or if we pull up the masking fluid. Okay? I think I want to add another layer. I don't want it too saturated with color, but the sides are a little bit deeper than the middle, by quite a bit actually, so I'm going to add a little bit more color. Okay, I'm going to let that dry again. That should be dark enough, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is dried, and now I'm going to use this this weird thing here. It was a rubber cement eraser, is what it's called, to pick up the fluid, the masking fluid. It's not fluid anymore, obviously. So you just kind of just tick, tick, tick away at it like that, and it helps lift it. Okay, so I thought I got all my masking fluid off, but I did not. This branch was still covered. I wondered why it was pooling up like it was on some kind of plastic. It was on the masking fluid. So make sure you double check your paintings before you start painting, so that way you don't go outside the lines. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and we'll come back and see if it needs more layers or want to see what it looks like without the tape. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. The colors are pretty awesome, I think. We have a little bit of warping here. I ended up having to stop for the night, so this is the next day. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape. Hopefully it doesn't rip my paper. Let's see. And this paper is the Arches hot pressed. Hold on, let me show you the package. It's the Arches watercolor hot pressed 140 pound paper. So it should be okay, but my other 130 pound paper, or I'm sorry, 140 pound paper has been tearing with this tape. So let's see if this one survives. Yes. So far, so good. Yay. Too clean. So far, no rips. That one's good too. Sorry, flipping it around so I can get to the tape. That did pretty awesome. So I think the colors are amazing. I think I need to work with them a little bit more, see what all I can do with them, but I really like how this turned out for being something that is very structured. I think it did a really good job for a medium that isn't usually all that structured to work with, but I also got a nice soft blended background as well. Was really fun to do. And the paper, I mean, it didn't tear under the tape, which is great, but it is really wavy in a few spots. I don't know if you can see those waves, but I will try and put it under something heavy for a little while and see if that flattens it out. If you can see on the beak, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not. I used a little bit of the gold on the beak, a little bit of the silver and gold on the eye, and in person you can see the glimmer on it. I was just going for it because it was a lighter brown kind of color. I didn't think it would actually be glimmery after it dried, but it is. But it was really fun to do this and to try out a new supply. Oh, and here's the watercolors. Almost look brand new still. I mean, you can see where it had been wet in the very center where I was using it, but not even a dent in the paint after this whole page is filled up with the paint. Not a single one of the colors have a dent in it, so that's great. And here's the swatches now that they're completely dry. I think that's really neat that they included that on there. I really enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Have a great day.